Hi guys, so Jason from JVA Carpet Adventures and welcome to another Mousehole Diaries vlog. This is going to be vlog number 24. I'm on Kingfisher and this is going to be coming from swim 1 this week. So I just thought I'd quickly take a quick second before I get set up, a little bit later than normal, but before I get set up, just quickly show you the swim because it seems they've been doing the swims up here and this one's looking lovely. So let's show you that, guys. Okay guys, so as you can see they've been doing the swims up. It's got some lovely white stones in there. So this is swim 1 of Kingfisher, looking very lovely. Obviously I've got nothing set up, evening's drawing in, I need to get crack-a-lacking, but I just thought I'd show you that quickly. So now it's got to be time to roll that intro. Hi guys, so it's taken me quite a while to get set up today. It's a lot later than normally. It's currently 7:45 in the evening. Still got enough light that I can show you where the rods are. So this week, because next week is actually my trip to France, providing I get the car or van working, which I will cover later, the bait I'll be using is what I'm using today. So the first one is a sweet red bait, which is essentially sort of plum, caramel, banana, sweetener, that sort of thing. So the first one of those is the island in front of me, on the corner, about centre of the screen here, about 2.5 foot off the island, and that's simply a single bottom bait boilie with a handful over the top of it. Nothing special, guys. So my second rod is into the bay all the way over here. Now firstly, it's probably a bit hard to see actually because it's quite far away, so it's into this bay, sorry. So you can probably see in the middle now you've got the yellow post, which is up to my water, and then beyond that is actually the guys in 15 and 16. I've already walked around to them, spoke to them, asked them where they're fishing, would they mind, I thought the ducks were going to hit my line in, would they mind if I go into that bay because they can't actually reach that bay from the other side. They're happy for me to. So right here in the corner of this bay I've put a criller pimped up with plum, and again with a handful of bottom bait boilies over them. All of these are going to be bottom baits this weekend, guys. I'm just trialing bottom baits for my France trip. So then we will move over to the yellow post, and that's where I've got once again my sweet red with a handful of boilies, guys. So all of them, I haven't put loads of bait out on any of them, just a handful over each. See where we're at tonight. I have saved the spots on the bait boat. I haven't done any deeper investigations or any of that. There just isn't time tonight. Also, I will cover it later, but tomorrow morning I'm going to kind of miss bite time because I need to shoot off and shoot to Crawley to get some parts for the van. So if I don't get tonight, it's going to be hard graft, I think. But fingers crossed I can get something tonight and bring you a fish later on, guys. I've still got a lot of setting up to do, so I'm going to crack on with that, but fingers crossed we can get a fish or two for you. Morning, guys. So Saturday morning about 4 o'clock, and unfortunately no fish to report. So was a little bit of a rush for me getting here yesterday. I was a bit later getting out of work. I had to do some stuff in the van which I'm going to cover in a second. So I got here a bit later, a little bit rushed. I didn't do any investigations with the sonar. I kind of knew where I wanted to go anyway, to be fair. So the main thing I would guess is this is the week before I go to France with Connor. So this week I'm testing bait that I've made, a krill version that's been enhanced with plum liquids. And then on the advice of the fishery, I've made a new sweet bait, which is essentially plum and a caramel banana with some sweetener added in a red. So that's what I'm using this week. Hasn't done me a bite so far, but I think the rods went in about 7:45 last night, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But here's probably the news of the moment. So my last vlog here, vlog 23, I had just had the Fishmobile fixed. The turbo blew, I had various AdBlue issues, it was on the engine countdown before it wouldn't start. So it's a bit of a nightmare, it cost me a fortune. fixed, happy days. Driving away from here 2 weeks ago, the AdBlue light came back up, and when that happens you've got a countdown. For mine it's about 500 miles. You've got a countdown before you've got no engine start. So it's a bit of a nightmare situation, made worse because next week I need the van to go to France. I'm absolutely stuffed without it. The van is for me and Connor, so that has been a real headache for the last 2 weeks, and still is being so, to be fair. I've been doing absolutely lots on it, learning lots. I've bought myself some diagnostic equipment. I'm probably going to do a vlog on the van repair, so you'll probably get to see some of that stuff. But yeah, it's been an absolute nightmare. The upshot of it is, I believe I now know what the issue is, and it's called a NOx sensor, which on my vehicle is actually a combined sensor. So I think it does the EGR and an O2 sensor, and it's actually the O2 readings at the minute that are out and causing me the issues. So brand new from Mercedes, brand new from Ford, they're like 560 quid, which is not cheap when you've already spent out well over £1,000 fixing it. So I'm like, alright, so I've decided, first port of call, I've already taken it out, tried cleaning it, that's not done jack. So I think what's happened is, where I had the turbo go and oil went through the DPF system and the catalyst converter, it's kind of overloaded the threshold of the O2 sensor, and I believe it's blown a resistor in there. So that's stuff. So this morning, probably about 7:30, I'm going to pull my rods in and I'm going to shoot off to Crawley and go and get a used one from a 2021 vehicle. So fingers crossed, and I am praying for this one, guys, that this will sort it. So tomorrow when I leave here, I'll go home, fit that filter, put the diagnostics on it, check it's all working. Hopefully I'll then be able to go for a short drive, and that will cause the AdBlue system to reset itself, relearn its values and say yes, I'm okay. If not, then I will have literally 5 days to try and rectify a fault that's been stumping me for 2 weeks. So absolute nightmare situation, guys, absolute nightmare situation. So guys, as always, at Mousehole Lakes, please don't forget the mug on a mug competition. Now all you got to do to win one of these bad boys is subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this post or any post you leave a comment on, and leave a comment suggesting what you would like to see in one of my vlogs. That's it, guys. You have to be someone that comes to Mousehole, because I'll leave them at Mousehole with your name on to be collected. So there you go, a mug on a mug competition, guys. Get involved. And if you're not local and you still want to get involved, please do. I do reply to all comments and all questions that guys send me on YouTube, so feel free to get in touch, guys. I really appreciate your support. Okay guys, so just going to do some investigations using the bait boat and the deeper sonar. Hi guys, so just thought I'd show you what I'm putting out for Saturday afternoon. So I'm going to be going to spots B, C and D, so I'll show you that on the map now. So spot B is going to be the solid PVA bag with a yellow Krilla pop-up in. Spot C is going to be a Krilla doused in plum with a yellow topper. And spot D is going to be my sweet red, again with a yellow topper. Each of them are going to go out with a matching handful of boilies, some crumb, some hull. Alright guys, so first one for me, lovely little stumpy mirror. It's gone £18.10, but I haven't checked that the scales are 0, so I'm going to do that afterwards, so the weight might be different. But get her up here absolutely pristine like they all are here, and hopefully she'll play ball. I doubt she will, but we'll try. There you go guys, look at that. Absolute beautiful fish on my first fish effort on the sweet reds. There you go, let's show you the other side. There we go, we'll get some pics and then we'll get it back in. Hi guys, so firstly apologise for lack of content during today. I have been doing other things with regards to trying to get the van fixed. So I've even had Martin, bless him, looking after my rods for about an hour while I was dealing with a mechanic here. So yeah, it's been a busy day at Mousehole Lake. So I've essentially left my rods where I put them this afternoon. So first one has got a yellow pop-up in a solid PVA bag just off the corner of the island, underneath underneath the tree line about here. All of them have a scattering of boilies over them. The middle rod, which is if you can just see that middle post, that yellow post in the middle of your screen now, I've got a sweet red boilie topped with a yellow topper about 3 foot off of that post, again with some freebies. And my last rod, I've actually decided to go quite close into the first bay, just where you've got these reeds here, and again probably about 3 foot off of there, just because I know you want to come out a little bit from that, so probably about 3 foot off that, with again just a handful of boilies thrown over there basically. So that's it for Saturday night. Fingers crossed I can get into something. If I do, obviously I'll be sure to show you. Hi guys, so apologise for the very red and hot looking face. It is absolutely scorchio out here today. So as you would have seen from the pics, I've had my first fish, which was actually caught on my sweet reds that I've made for France. So, happy days. It was a lovely £19.4 common, which, very oddly enough, after looking through my phone, I realised I caught on the vlog before. So if you've gone through my vlogs, if you go back to one, I think it might be vlog 13 actually, go back to vlog 13, which was actually November of last year, I caught the same fish about £1.5 pounds down in weight. So crazy, eh? Same swim, same fish. Absolutely crazy. But it does mean I'm not going to blank on this session, which with everything that's going on with regards to the van at the minute is a real lifesaver not to blank. So I've still got more things to do with regards to the van, but I just want to give it a quick update. Really happy to have that fish. Really nice for it to be on my brand new bait that I'm going to be taking with me to France. Gives me a little bit of confidence in it, so fingers crossed we might be getting to another one tonight. So as most of you know, if you've been watching my vlogs or keeping up to date with my YouTube channel, I've had a number of problems go wrong with my fish member in my van lately in the last couple of months. So I'm going to skip all of what's going on and all the rest. Just want to let you know about a guy called Derek, who's actually a mechanic that has been doing your car at Mousehole Lake. Very experienced mechanic, I will add. And he had a quick look at my van for me whilst I'm here at Mousehole. He decided to have a quick look at my van. So I'm going to put his card up now, guys. If you need a good experienced mechanic around sort of Maidstone, Dartford, any of those sort of areas, I'm guessing it'd be a good guy to call. So here's his number. Please give him a call. Feel free to mention my name. I'm sure he'd like to know where you got his number from. And he's really helped me out today. So I've got to a situation where I'm hoping, after putting a new NOx sensor in today myself, that I'll be able to drive home and all the other faults have been reset. It will relearn its values, and fingers crossed and praying the AdBlue light will go out on the way home. But regardless whether it does or doesn't, he's done a very good job, so I'd like to recommend Derek. Here's his details, guys. If you need a good mechanic, give him a call. Morning guys. So 5:30 Sunday morning, and obviously due to the lack of footage means I didn't have a fish during the night, which I'll be honest, yesterday afternoon, just before I had that fish, I had a couple shows in my area, a couple boshes out. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's going to liven up here. then I had that fish, so I thought, oh okay, good. So I kind of left the rods where they were yesterday, and then late in the evening, the one that was closest to the island in front of me, I kind of moved to the middle, which is where an absolute unit jumped out yesterday. I had Rod, Nick and Jane standing there, Martin, and it absolutely boshed out. And I didn't want to remove my rods then, and I'm glad I didn't, because I had that fish like 10 minutes later. So I did move one of the rods last night, and I've gone and done something that I rarely do this morning, which is I've moved my middle rod, which was to the yellow post. I've brought it out under the tree line, so a bit further out towards me, and that's just a solid PVA bag on one of my sweet reds with a handful of scattering. So like I said, it's 5:30 now, and really I've got to be putting everything away at 8 o'clock, because I want to be off by 9 o'clock sort of thing. So fingers crossed, really blessed that I can get a fish. I'm going to apologise to you guys. I'm sure it probably hasn't been a very interesting vlog for you. I've been taking a lot of time out whilst I've been at Mousehole, going out to the van, running diagnostics on it and putting a new part in it, so doing all bits and bobs. So I really apologise if it hasn't been the most entertaining. At least I managed to bring you one fish, but fingers crossed I can get you another one before we leave. So one of the things I want to say is, obviously I've touched on, I've got an up and coming France trip. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy these type of videos, please give them a like, it does help. And if you want to be notified of future posts, hit that bell icon. And also guys, if you ever want to leave me any comments, please feel free. I reply to absolutely every comment that I get. So anything you want to see on my channel, I've got, if you're a visitor at Mousehole Lakes, I've got a mug on a mug competition. So you can win one of these bad boys, a mug on a mug competition, that if you leave me a comment for a suggestion and I like it and you're a winner, I'll leave you one of these mugs there. It's only a bit of fun guys, but I do appreciate your suggestions, and I do actually want them for sure. So massive thanks to everyone who has subscribed to me. I don't take it for granted guys, and I really do appreciate it. So I'm gonna have a coffee, wake up, watch the water, and God willing, or the carp God's willing, I'll have a carp before we leave. Speak to you later guys. Okay guys, so coming up to 8 o'clock, so I'm going to call a close on this session. I did only have the one, but it was on my sweet reds that I've made for France, so absolutely happy days on that. Really happy, been a good session. Do apologise, you might not have got as much content as I normally do, but I've had other priorities on this session. So firstly, thank you for watching, thank you to all my subscribers, and secondly, thank you to Mousehole Lakes. I started the Mousehole Diaries because this was my favourite fishery in the whole of the UK. Obviously it still is my favourite fishery that I've been to. And there's plenty of good reasons for it. The facilities here literally are second to none. But really for me it's the owners, the people that manage the lake. So you've got Joe, Dave, Rod, Phil, Libby, Maria. There's a whole team that work here. And the main thing is that they reinvest their money into the lake. Last year you had the canteen go up. Obviously they come around to do a food service morning and evening, which is fantastic. And currently I'm now sitting in a swim that's just had all new stones put in. Lovely looking, beautiful swim, I'm going to show you that. But it's just to my point that this fishery is different than other fisheries. You walk into the toilet, it looks like a shed from the outside, but you walk in, it's got heated tiles in on the floor. It's lovely smelling of lemon. If you have not been to Mousehole Lakes, Paddock Brook, Kent, guys, you really need to. It is such a wonderful fishery. and the reason why I'm so happy and I love coming here, and the reason for my Mousehole Diaries. It is really because I want everyone else to see how lovely this lake is, and without a shadow of a doubt there's some beautiful fish in here. And funny enough, if you watch my vlogs, that fish I caught yesterday, which is quite an oddly shaped fish, so it does stand out, I actually caught in the same swim, so swim 1, on vlog 13. Who would have it? And it put in about £1.5 pounds or something like that since November of last year, so there you go. Alright guys, well look, thank you very much for watching. My very next vlog that you'll be seeing will be to do with the France trip, because I leave on Saturday, so in less than a week. So it only leaves me to say, stay safe, stay fishing. I'll see you on the France vlog.